Now that we've discussed melody, accompaniment, harmony, and color, let's address Chopin's remarkable sense of rhythm. No composer of the 19th century, or any previous century, had such a sophisticated and fluid sense of this facet of music. Of course, many of Chopin's passages are rhythmically straightforward. This is especially true in the waltzes and mazurkas. But Chopin's most fascinating music exhibits extraordinary rhythmic complexity. The opening measures of the Nocturne in E-flat, Opus 55, No. 2, illustrate what I mean. Let's analyze this for a moment. The basic pulse is one of triplet rhythms. It is established by the left hand, which plays one of Chopin's typically wide-stepping accompaniment figures. Chopin introduces some uncertainty from the start by beginning the right hand with a trill, which is usually rhythmically ambiguous. But after the first measure, the music settles into a fairly routine pattern. Soon, however, Chopin begins to blur the triplet pulse by juxtaposing 4 or 8-note figures in the right hand against the consistent 3-to-a-beat figures in the lower notes of the left hand. Later in the piece, these rhythmic clashes become more varied, with figures of 10, 7, and 5 evenly spaced notes against the 3 of the basic pulse. The result, as I said, is a kind of blurring of any sense of rhythmic uniformity. It produces a wonderful, almost dreamlike feeling, one that pervades this entire nocturne. This is, to be sure, an extreme instance of Chopin's rhythmic fluidity, but this quality pervades much of his music, if in a more subtle manner. Often, he will insert a sudden swirl of notes into an otherwise regular flow of melody, serving to break up any feeling of regularity. In the fourth measure of the Prelude in D-flat, for example, a sudden group of 7 notes circling tightly around a central pitch stretches what has been a perfectly regular and straightforward rhythmic pattern. This is very characteristic of Chopin. Near the end of the Barcarolle, we get an even more extravagant example, where the interpolation becomes a sweeping flourish. Yet the effect is still to banish rhythmic regularity, replacing it with something more free and unpredictable. A more consistent use of different rhythms superimposed on each other occurs in the opening of the C-sharp minor impromptu. Here the left hand plays 3 notes to every 4 notes in the right hand. In slow motion, they sound like this. First the left hand, now the right hand's line. When combined at the fast tempo Chopin calls for, we don't specifically hear 3 against 4, but we are aware of a very fluid composite rhythm. In the slow second theme of this same composition, Chopin again juxtaposes triple and duple rhythms. Once again, the left hand plays a wide-stepping accompaniment in a 3 notes to a beat pattern. melody in the right hand moves in 2 notes to a beat groups. When these 2 figures meet, it produces a gentle rhythmic clash.